Hello, friends, and welcome to round one of our Tuesday night locals. Before we begin, I will let you know these games. I mean, I watched them all through. They are very kind of ridiculous to see. Very fun though. Looking at it, we decided it was a very small local night. I think we only had a few players show up. So we decided all to test out new decks, things that we haven't played before. So here in this game, I think it's David's first time, maybe second, playing Melodious, which I have not seen any of the new stuff. I have no idea what they do. And my deck that I'm playing is 60 card. I'm just going to say it's Goblin Punk, rank 3 spam with the Horus package in there. It was interesting. I'm sure there's a lot better builds than what I have. Actually, I know there is. But it was really fun to just, you know what, I'm going to quickly put this together, see how well I can do. And man, first time playing it, I know I misplayed quite a bit. I know there was better lines to do. But it was still just more fun. But a lot of the games that we played this day, there's a lot of, and I'll tell you, when you're playing a new deck, it's probably not great to record the new cards, or I guess new decks that people are playing, because the whole time we're all just standing there reading cards. Okay, what does this do? What does my stuff do? And funny enough, I think I spoke with a buddy of mine recently. I think it was Josh, maybe not. But it's like every time you're playing a new deck, you spend 10 minutes reading your own cards, trying to figure out what what you're supposed to do and what they do. So it's a lot of fun still. And please comment. If you leave a comment, any advice would be helpful. It is new decks for us. We did not know what we were doing. So if you could just hey, maybe next time do this or this, that would be so much more helpful. Or if we missed something, I think I caught David oh, I don't think you're allowed to do that. And he's like, oh shoot, you're right. If you see something that we missed, it'd be fantastic. I also do apologize about the glare. We were right above the light. Didn't even think of it at all. Where they set up the camera, unfortunately the light was up there. So trying my best, I guess, to make up for that. I tried changing some of the lighting. It just didn't help much. So hopefully we say things loud enough that you can hear. So in this, we definitely do so many misplays, so many weird plays and mistakes, and it's definitely a lot of fun to watch. But again, if you could just give us advice, leave a comment, or just hey, speed it up. That's one thing that even I was thinking in my head. I'm like, oh my god, Andrew, please hurry up, go quicker. Looking into it, I think even here, I think I caught him. I was like, I don't think you're allowed to ghost mourner, and you hear Caleb say no, it's on summon. So this is David's. He's heard how well Ghost Mourner is in the meta right now, which it is. It's freaking everywhere. But yeah, he's like, oh, okay. Knowing he had a Ghost Mourner, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, let's got him now. I know I got to play around it. So, and yeah, it's a lot of reading. More so on my part of just I gotta understand where the line is. And full disclosure, as much as I liked the deck, I don't think it's my speed or style. I love the punk engine. I mean, a lot of my older decks always had the punk. Psychics were just my favorite archetype. That's why the whole channel is actually called Psych Out. I just loved psychics, Psy-frames, mech knights, anything that had to deal with psychics. So I figured, hey, make a level 3 spam deck. Take advantage of the punks, the deck that I really like, and try to build something good. But I'm so used to, and you'll hear Caleb talking about it as well. You're so used to decks that you can do multiple things and can keep comboing even if you get hand stun twice. But the deck that I'm playing, which obviously is a pile, it was so oh, you stopped me there. Well, I can't continue. I just cry. and you see how much like one specific hand trap, which is Droll, just shuts me down so hard that I can't play, I can't do anything. And I think Caleb even says this in the video later. When I get Drolled, he goes, "Yeah, Andrew always plays deck that loses two Drolls so hard, like all the time. He's always searching one for one cards, like all the time," which is true. But I decided after today, rewatching these games and listening, I just was like, I don't like it. I'm gonna definitely go to something that's a little different. I'll probably try Orchest, a 60 card pile Orchest, and I just love 60 card piles. They're always just so fun. But we'll see. So on here, I'm debating. I know he has the Ghost Mourner, so I know I have to watch out with what he's going to negate. So I go, you know what? I'm going to make a negate to block his negate before anything else happens, and I should be safe. So I'm going for the Horus play to make the Galaxy Eyes XYZ, and that way I can block the Mourner when I make the rank 3 play. And for the goblins, I mean, as fun as they are, like you make the one rank and it can continue your play, but the moment it gets stopped, you're dead. So I figured, hey, I'll just make a negate to stop it. He activates the Mourner, and I'm thinking, like, why would he do it on that, knowing that, like, maybe he just wants to try to stop my monster or make me take damage. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to use this monster later. I better detach now. So I do decide to negate his Mourner instead of taking damage either way. So I do detach, and unfortunately, I am met with a card I did not see coming. So I make the Goblin XYZ, the main one, to add a Goblin monster. And that literally starts the whole play for Goblins. Like, it's super good. But David, unfortunately, has, it's hard to see, but it's the orange light, which I wish that was still limited yeah, limited. I think it got limited when Tyr was around, if I remember correctly, and Ishizus were at full power. Yeah, it just negates and destroys. And I'm making sure, like, reading the Gabanga, like, do they actually stop? Like, is there anything to protect them from something like that? And I'm just, yeah, sitting there for like 2 minutes, like, there's something I must have missed. Like, it can't just easily be destroyed like that, can they? And, yep, they can, unless I'm missing something. So I'm thinking here, like, maybe I can make an E-Telly and sit on an SP and stun him that way, but SP's so weak. Like, they just summon a monster, don't do anything, and just swing. So I decide, you know what? Galaxy Eyes is a negate anyway, but might as well just leave him as is. So let's go ahead and set and pass. Start timer. That's it. Sorry. Draw. Or ask him if he started it. Stand by me. Yeah. We'll start simple. Ostinato. That specials by fusion. Actually, fusion summons. Yes. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Botcha effect to special. Negate? Can I negate? Initially, just negates. Just negates. Okay, not a problem. Then I will special Sonata. Sonata will boost both of them by 500 attack and defense, making her 3,000. Sure. Beat over my guy now. I could. Or
Haggard Wizardess.
Sure.
Botcha effect engrave, targeting the refrain to summon. Actually, not the refrain. Targeting the soprano.
To summon?
To special.
Sure.
And then soprano effect to target the refrain to add to him.
Target refrain to add back? Sure. And the fusion is the one that special that back?
Yes. What's her turn? I'm gonna probably go for OTK right now.
This is a graveyard effect. Dispersion. Since the graveyard. Yeah. Okay. Special summon defense.
Oh, does it summon it?
Yep. Summons in defense.
Then we will normal summon refrain.
You normal her.
Special. As long as I control Melodious monster, I can special.
Oh, you can?
Yes. Endless. The other level 4 is a once per turn machine as many times as I want.
Gotcha. Okay, you're good.
And then I'm not locked into anything quite yet, which is great. So refrain effect to
Yep.
Couplet effect would trigger, targeting this, not targeting, but to add one special one from either grave or hand.
Sure.
Great. Special Sonata. And then Sonata effect again makes them all 500 attack. Defense higher.
Yep.
Then I'll activate couplet, and a couplet effect to add spell or trap from it.
Sure.
Yeah, this deck needs
Shirto.
or you could do all the
If you do not control any face-up monsters other than Melodious, you can add a Melodious spell.
That's right, I can't because of Wizard Dose. Wizard Dose prevents the same issue with freaking the
be able to make it.
Put that back. Yep.
Very reason I took his butt out. That's
Yes,
right, I can
but
make this
with
up.
your-
This is
All right. Yeah, you got this.
we'll do Wizard Dose effect. Will banish himself to target and reduce his and then make his attack become equal to his,
Gotcha.
which is 800. And because I banished him specifically, being a reptile for the problem. That's what I should have done.
Gotcha. You banish one monster. Banish 800. Okay. Okay.
And then I'll have you cut.
Yep.
Get the draw. And then we'll do this to practice.
There you go.
Then I'm going to do a couple of effects.
Sure.
It's just if it goes to combat, it's most of the time able to attack with has to attack.
All right, problem solved.
There we go.
Then we'll activate.
So, target creature gains double strike and like. So then you set that. It skeleton or attack.
Activate Concerto.
Sure.
And then we'll do couplet chain link 1, refrain chain link 2.
Sure. Which your percent to go back, or
So whenever they're in the extra deck, and I special a fusion Melodious monster, I can put them in the lumps. Gotcha. What's my turn?
Got it.
So it's a good chain block on the initial activation.
Oh, this one you're ready.
Yep, so that one doesn't get either on field or in grade right now. So we'll go to battle phase here. Sure. We will have Sonata swing over. She's 17 with an 8. That'll be a 900 difference.
I'm at 800, or I lose 800.
No, she's at 17. He's at 800.
Gotcha.
So a 900 life difference.
Gotcha.
And then the Botcha will swing in for 3,000 direct.
Can it attack more than once, or?
Once more.
Sure. Take how much?
3,000. So,
And then how much did I just take from her again? 8,
so
17?
9, 3, so 39 total.
9?
Yeah, so put you at 29.
Gotcha.
Yep. All right. Then main phase 2. Sure.
You got it.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever gotten that is scary. Yep. He's great.
We'll do soprano effect in main phase 2 diffuse.
Sure. And nothing's locked you into anything yet?
Nothing has locked me in. The only thing that locks technically is the link and the first movement solo.
The link locked you in the first movement solo? Or what'd you say? I'm sorry?
So yeah, the link to the deck has, which I don't have right now, and the first movement solo locks.
Gotcha.
Those are the only two. Everything else keeps it.
Okay.
She's the maestro.
Maestro? Okay, you're good.
The only other maestro in the deck that's just hard is
Now here, and because I've heard David say it so many times, oh, I can OTK with this deck, and I believe it. I see the spams that they can do, how much they can summon. So I'm thinking like, did he misplay here? And I think he even said it himself. Yeah, I misplayed. I should have ended on more. But I'm like, oh, cool. I kind of survived. So this is the biggest oopsie daisy like I have ever made. I've also never said oopsie daisy before. I'm sitting there like, oh, he has a monster. The fusion can bounce. So the fusion can bounce itself and as many Melodious, I believe, to bounce cards back to the hand. And I'm thinking, okay, well, that's fine. I'm going to make Imseti and happy and sit on this, and I'll be great. Now, what I was supposed to do here is I E-Telly out, and I keep trying to lower my life points so that I can get to a very, very powerful Psychic End. But you see David just there flashing it. He had a Ghost Mourner. So I've literally brought my life points down to, I think it was like maybe 1,700. And I should have just stopped right there, made the Psychic End, and just swung away. But I'm thinking like, okay, he's gonna bounce. If I make Psychic End, he'll bounce something. I'll still keep Psychic End, but I won't get advantage like happy and all that. And yeah, I was in my own head. Complete misplay on my part, which is just great because it's still being recorded. So yeah, I pay 6. I think I'm down to like maybe 1,700 left, which would have been enough. Even if he did bounce with the fusion, it would have still been enough. But I decided to extend a little bit, and that was my downfall.
it'd be cool to have a continuous stuff. This card and draw one card.
A little broken though, no?
Card trainer?
Yeah, so it doesn't discard; it just returns and draws.
Sort of, kind of.
Is it?
But this card is better.
Way better. You bounce, so you basically will banish her and then bounce once.
Good move. Good move.
Damn, this is actually really
Good move.
tough.
What life is everyone? You're 32. Oh, you definitely would have been the target. You definitely would have been the target. And then I'll cast it.
Let's attempt to activate Deer Note to reveal one and special one and discard the other. Me neither. We're all lost here now. Another one?
Silvers. Okay.
I don't think I have another one, so I think I can do it. Find out. Synchro for 8. Jam Dragon? I'll do Jam Dragon, Chainlink 1, pay 6. Deer Note, Chainlink 2 to target or Guaga to special.
So his effect to pay is on summon,
Yep.
correct?
So I have to pay.
So it's pay 6 to do what with him again?
Search a level 3 psychic, and then Chainlink 2 is Deer Note.
Okay, I'm gonna do Chainlink 3 Ghost Moment.
Sure.
Sure.
And if it leaves the field or if it's sent to the graveyard?
If it leaves the field, this control takes damage equal. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So anything on resolution?
No, we're good.
Itoli effect?
Mm-hmm.
To return to your hand.
Sure. And it just leaves the field? Yeah. That's so funny.
That is disgusting. I just the whole do I do?
Why didn't you go like psychic and Punisher just right off the bat?
I wanted to. I was going to.
So long, like, why?
But I wanted to, but then he would have bounced the only target I would have had, which was Happy. And I wanted to do Happy. Nope, I would have done these. I would have had to do 8 and 3.
Right, and then since the card left the field, it had to be triggered.
No, only by card.
That is
Yeah, that is a card effect. If he bounces your stuff, he is bounced by card.
No, he has to stay on the field for it to.
Oh, so you
So I
was
at the
assuming I was
time,
gonna bounce
yep,
Happy.
at the time I had this and this guy,
Right.
and I was gonna just immediately do this to make psychic, pay 1,000 to banish both, but he would have just bounced this, and then nothing would have happened. I would have just had psychic. But I mean, it would have been good damage, but not enough to kill.
That's really
So I was trying to. I would have normaled the 1, and then I could have potentially, yeah. But
Yeah, I think you could have gone. I think you had it.
Yeah.
I think you had it.
I did.
more than a total.
But I was trying to go for. I didn't know he had Ghost War number 1. And I was trying to go for to get rid of stuff more.
Right.
And then I was trying to make Happy alive. So
That's
Ghost War is just too strong. I love it. So game 1 goes to David, which I mean a complete misplay on my part. Which new decks, you gotta always test everything out, but he basically negated the effect with Ghost Mourner, and since his fairy banishes itself to bounce things back, since Mourner read, now I'm not familiar with Mourner much, I know it's played a lot, but I thought it was if it goes to the graveyard, but nope, it just, whenever it leaves the field, period, you take damage, so he was able to basically bounce my level 8 synchro. I took 27, which was enough for lethal. Now, I mean, I did tell Caleb, and I think I'm saying it here, like, I didn't know he had the Mourner. If he didn't have the Mourner, I would have had well enough lethal to kill, get over that fusion, and would have been a happy camper. But, I mean, it is what it is. It was still really funny, and now you just have to always look out for Mourner. Like, it's such a good card. Even when it came out, I was like, this is actually a really fun card. The only problem I think that a lot of people had with it at the time was it was on summon, not like Effect Veiler, which obviously really got hyped up. It was just when you summon, you had to do it. So sometimes you're like, is this the right time? Like, I really wish, he could activate the effect too. And then going into it, like, all of his Melodious, since the cards are so old, they're not a hard, they're a soft once per turn, but not a hard once per turn, except for like the newer stuff. I'm assuming. So it's kind of like, oh man, if he keeps bringing them back, he just gets their effects over and over again. It's a really strong deck, and I can understand. The only one that locks you into anything is the that one. I forget what it's called. The spell. God, it jumped up so high. It was so cheap, just like 2 months ago. But now that their new spell is out, every deck is just able to splash that in there, which is crazy good, and just be able to use it. So it's really nice. And again, like I said, it doesn't lock you into anything. It doesn't lock you into fusions. You can just keep a small Melodious package in there. It reminds me very much of like Super Heavy Samurais when they got the new support. Everyone just had a quick, small Super Heavy Samurai package in their deck that made them a negate, which was a lot of fun. Not for me, but a lot of fun for people where they're like, oh, cool, I'm going to do the super heavy samurai package and bait out negates because they have to stop it, otherwise I get a negate. And if they stop this, then I'm going to go with my regular line. So this is game 2 here. I decided to go first, and I show David how very, very weak the deck can be and how much it loses to Droll. So I activate the Punk to search for a monster. And with the Punk package, I mean, you almost always want to search Deer Note to just get another 3 on board. And rank 3 spam it out. But then I believe, this is that. This is the game where I met with the most frustrating card, which is Droll and Lock. So I, on resolution, chainlink 1 effect to draw, and he gets a response since I'm turn player. He hits me with the Droll. I just kind of cry. Droll kills me in almost every deck that I play, so it's still a lot of fun though. But imagine if he didn't have the Droll, huh? See? This is why we have these games.
So I have to. Attempt to activate Foxy to special one. Special one from whoops. Special one from hand. No, from deck. Oh, so pitch itself. Yeah.
When I attack,
I'm not done there, so keep going.
let's.
I can sit in your dad.
And
go ahead.
When I
Draw for
deal
turn.
damage to you,
All right, draw.
your
Stand by.
battlefighter triggers. And then when Vengeful Ancestor attacks, I'm going to target your ally.
Sure.
Is it worth it? I'm trying to bait it. If you want to give it protection, that's fine. Let's swing it anyway. Well, I get life.
I've never played their meta there.
Are they pretty competitive, right?
I haven't played their meta in 2 years. Last time I played their meta, yes, it was like when I first started. Like my
This is like the best part about this deck.
You had Sprite players, you had Branding players, Sword Soul players. That's when they were the best deck. So everyone was like,
Okay, making a 10-10.
you got a lot of people there who have like top regionals. One of the guys at the Fargo regional goes there.
Oh, okay.
I met a guy.
How many is there? People show.
4 or 6.
Six
At least
is good.
the day I was there for the scrub week, there were like 10 people. And that's not even meta. So I would assume probably about it.
That sounds fun.
Ooh. And they're gonna go like.
So their store is like bigger than that. Dude, you must.
Dude, I saw somebody posting like, oh my god, they have Droll? Sure, they have Age of War here for online for 100 and something. I'm like, dude, the city's has it for like 70.
I noticed they got a lot of stores.
Yeah.
In terms of media, or even like
City's always get first dibs.
You
do first move and sold. Sure. Now. Mm-hmm. And then we'll do refrain effect on this side. Yeah, you're good. Dude, do it.
I'm sure all their meta players already skipped all the good stuff.
That's possible.
I got all my striker stuff, all my.
Actually, I don't think they would have. A lot like when what's his face loop into the cities. I'm like, how did they not already pick all that up?
I know they did. When I was buying striker and D-Link there, like the guy at the counter, like he was like, oh yeah, one of the guys bought like this entire deck out, blah 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 blah. So I know people would.
Yeah, that's fair.
They got
add Sonata? Sure. We'll activate couple. Sure. And couple an effect to add to hand. Sure. This is that one that, yeah. Oh, never mind. Yeah. You can use that. Okay, then we'll do concerto. Mm-hmm. So that's when the other spell. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. For Botcha chain 1, couplet 2, refrain. Sure.
Because it goes back to him on his. The problem is he's ready, so I have to.
Soprano.
Really good. But he's a big guy.
He will special sonata. Sure. We'll attempt to proceed to battle phase. Sure. We'll have sonata swing over for 11.
Half, right?
Oh yeah, half of that. So
2,000.
so 850.
11? I take 1,000?
Yeah, you
So
would take 11. Yeah. So 550. Sorry.
Yep, 550. So 550. Yeah.
And then would be 19, so 950.
Yep.
And then would be 3, would be 15.
Huh. Didn't hurt as much as I thought it would.
Then main 2.
Yeah.
Soprano effect.
So I can pay.
Sure.
I can pay 2 in the black, tap it, transform it back. But only if a player has 1 or fewer hands.
Sure. And but Aksha effect.
I just chop them off.
Summoning the Soprano. Sure.
Which one is that effect? Sorry,
Gotcha. Yep. And then Soprano effect to add back.
the add back?
Sure. That's a once per turn effect.
Gotcha.
Then I will special sonata this. Sure. And then it will be your turn for.
There you go. Draw, stand by main. Now, David, if you are watching this, I will tell you, I know he added the droll back. So I'm like, well, I only get 1 search before he drolls me, and then I kind of cry. So I have to make it worth it. Now, I know he's got the fusion, which is able to banish Melodious and bounce that many cards back to the hand. So I'm like, I can try to bait it. Now, if I try to activate King Sark, which is the only really play I have, I kind of cry. I go, and I know he has Droll here, and I already searched. I think David forgot that he had Droll. So I added, and I'm waiting for his response, and he doesn't give any. So I do the draw. And then I'm like, and he still didn't drop it. So I get another search. I think I actually get 2 searches off of here. If he had hit me with the Droll here, and David, I rewatched these. If he had hit me with the Droll, I wouldn't have been able to activate the Punk and search, and you would have just been able to fusion everything out. But still, it's pretty interesting. So I activate the Gold Pride spell, which that one searches me. Again, searches a Gold Pride monster. So, looking at it, I think we only have maybe 10 minutes left in time. So I'm thinking, like, which one can I do to A, bait out his fusion, and B, not take so much damage. So I think I decide to go with the carry. Yeah, I think I decided to grab the carry and take damage. I think his attack is 900, so I take 900 damage. And then, again, so I'm searching that one, and I'm thinking, okay, now he'll probably realize he has the Droll. Or remember he has the Droll, which he didn't. So, again, this was his big misplay. And we all do one in these games. That's why I really like new decks. It's just, everyone's just kind of like, oh, God, I totally misplayed there. So, here I have the Ash and the Gold Pride, so I'm able to at least make a rank 3. Hoping that I can still bait out the fusion, because the King Sark was my main winning card in my mind. So since my life points are lower, special summon Captain Carry. Effective Captain Carry to add a trap.
I keep remembering. I keep forgetting over it.
Dude, you have Troll.
I know. I keep forgetting over it.
Dude, oh God, I've been playing this. Oops. Okay, well, Add?
Anything on resolution?
No. You had droll this whole time. It's like having Max C. It's like having Max C and just forgetting. Oh, wait.
It was like, oh, 6 summons deep.
Oh, we're playing Max C today?
Son of a gun, dude.
Dude, we need to have Max C. That's right.
See, you think I forget about it. You start doing extra stuff. You're like, oh wait, he's not dead middle.
Yeah, right in the center. Now I'm committed. Now I can't do anything.
Activate rivalry?
Oh, this guy's need ABC stuff. There's a lot of ABC stuff.
I don't.
Catapult terminals I do need.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
How many?
I need at least one. I'm gonna do an FTK with Numeron.
Well, there's 4 of them.
Better be something.
I was gonna play that, but I don't want him to be able to cast it.
What set is BPT? Yeah, that is like
the.
cool, dude.
Oh yeah, it's an old one.
It's probably from some game. I can't recall from it.
Damn.
I just like podcasts.
Overlay for free. Doesn't do anything.
Play your pathetic last card.
Right?
Bow to the limits of my majesty.
Wish I could.
I'm sure we can make that for you.
I think I have to do this way.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't want to either. Didn't trust me.
Is that the original LOB?
Yo, secret compass, yo.
Is that an LOB monster reborn?
No, LCYW.
And then I get to make
Oh, no, it's not from mine. Dude, I got like a magic.
2,000. Oh, wait. Are they boosted still?
Yes, they are still based.
Attack or defense or both?
Both.
So by 5?
Yes.
I do want to.
My crush was the hard.
Oh my god, what do I do here?
Those are the questions.
There's something here that he wanted.
Okay.
I'll let him know.
And then give me just a moment.
Oh, yeah, no, you're fine.
We'll dig into it.
Normal Ash?
no.
Oh, I don't like what you're planning to do here. That's a.
That's pretty delicious.
I don't like that. I'm gonna have to do something. We'll do.
Oh, normal summoning Ash. You gotta love it. Now here, I think David realizes that he has to shotgun the fusion, because if he didn't, I could easily make a bamboozling and make a King Sark or just another XYZ. So he decides to bounce him back to the hand, which was really nice because I think I only had one other card for King Sark, and I'm like, well, I didn't have anything to dump. I already have the Imseti in the graveyard. So here, David's like, oh, there's no monsters on the board, and I'm just gonna spam something out. I think I'm gonna spam something out. Basically, the whole Horus package that I run, which is just 3 Imseti, 1 Happy. And I'm rereading Captain Carey because I think I was like, can I just keep special summoning gold prides? But nope, there are activated effects because I thought they were just inherent summons. If your life points are lower, special summon this. But nope, they are inherent. They are activated effects, and you can only activate gold pride monsters effects once per turn. So they are just a hard once per turn here. So yeah, I special back. I think I still have the Ash in the center, and I just make a Psychic End and then have a good time. Now, I did mess up because I was like, oh, I should have kept the field spell, because if I kept the field spell, I can activate Psychic End and, potentially get another draw. But I was like, oh, wait, no, I'm under draw, so it wouldn't have mattered either way. 8, 9, 10, 11. Psychic?
Yeah.
Attempt to enter battle? Gain half? Or gain the difference? How much is it?
45.
45 plus 35, that's game? Yeah, 8,000 exactly, actually.
I knew it was in your hand, but forgot. I was supposed to have waited.
Oh, no, the droll is what. Is the MSAC drolled right away. It was the droll, forgetting the droll. You allowed 2 more searches.
Well, no, you getting that off the bat, and I could have drolled after that, but it didn't matter because I can't stop the ditching of you summoning cards back. So it was just kind of a moot point. Unless I had
Yeah,
put
but
it
you
back
could
in
have
there.
bounced the stuff once it's over there.
Yeah, but then
And then you wouldn't have had it.
but then you could have activated Sark and then just dump. Well, no, because then they would have been summoned back and you can't summon back again.
Yeah.
That would have been just solved the problem.
All right.
God dang it. And I was doing so good.
Now you just can't mess up the
That wraps up game 2. And I think David and I even got confused a little bit because the game 1 and 2 took so long that David's kind of looking at me like, what is he doing? Like, and he realizes like, oh, we got to go into game 3. He thought that was game 3. So he's like, oh God, we still got to play one more. So I'm sitting there siding with only like looking at the clock, like we only got like 4 minutes left. And David's like, what's going on? So it was kind of funny. I've only ever had that happen once at a regional where game 1 took so long and my opponent won. We went into game 2 and I won game 2. And then all of a sudden my opponent just starts unsleeving his cards, taking them out. I'm watching him. I'm like, what is this guy doing? I'm like, I don't think he's allowed to just unsleeve. So I'm just watching him. I'm not saying anything. I finish my siding. I put my deck down, and all of a sudden his buddy comes by, and he starts handing him cards out of his own deck. And I'm looking at him like, what is happening? We're supposed to be going into game 3 here. And his buddy's like, what happened? He goes, I lost. I can't. I'm out. So, and that's actually how I got like one of my, I think maybe my second invite. This was years ago when I started playing. This is when I think I was playing Ritual Beasts at the time. So, and I was trying to get more into the competitive scene. So all of a sudden I'm watching my opponent just unsleeve his cards and handing it to his buddy. And he's like, yeah, I lost. It's Ritual Beast. I lost to him. And I was just like, I'm staying quiet until he signs that little slip of paper, and I'm going to leave. So, yeah, he signed, he shook my hand, he goes, good game, and I just kind of went, oh, yeah, thank you very much. So he kind of just gave me the free win. I don't ever think he noticed it after, like, he never came up to me and said, hey, you know, I messed up or nothing. So he really did think that. So here we are, going into round 3 of it with, let's see, I think I decided to go first. And no, David decides to go first. Excuse me. And I'm watching my hand. I sighted in so many board breakers, and I think I only saw one, which was the Lightning Storm. And I don't run any cards for time. My deck is the worst when it comes to time. Psychics, the Punk package, paying life points, has happened, and I've lost into time with them so many times that I just realized, like, well, if there's only 5 minutes, I don't think there's much I can do. I can't pay life. I can't start the combos. So I'm hoping maybe I can, draw the Horus package and try to just play through. There was one thing I did realize, because my deck can go into time, what's that number? I think it's number 8, the new rank 8 that came out, which is target a monster your opponent controls and inflict damage equal to, I think it's their attack or half their attack. So I didn't have that in there, actually, which I kind of was like, maybe I should, going into time. So David does combo. He goes into, I think he opened up cracked. He goes into a pretty darn good board with still a fat hand, and he's able to just play. And I think the only thing I have is just Lightning Storm and no burn cards, nothing else. So thinking like I'm thinking in my head, this is going to end in a tie. There's nothing that he can do or I can do. And I think this is also a misplay he makes as well. He decides to go into a rank, I believe it's rank 7 for the Odd Eyes. And you hear Caleb here. I think he says he's going to make a Red Eyes Flare, which I think would have been really funny too. Like that's a good card for Melodious. But he goes into Odd Eyes to make the Vortex. And this is where I believe he realizes he misplays, because Vortex only works if you have pendulums in the extra monster zone to bounce back. So, he starts doing chain orders and continues to combo. And I'm just reading to make sure nothing locks him. So,
that southern and defense could watch us on the defense. Special, just in case that our monster doesn't invite for it just yet.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you're good. Keep going.
Go back. I'm gonna get 2 more. Oh, not really.
Sure.
I got nothing. And I'll die. I also don't have anything to do on my turn except
3?
for this.
Yes, sir.
So he gets a negate by shuffling back from the banish?
Declare all of it for declare.
Yeah. You don't have one, right?
That's right. Ignore that.
Oh, God.
Or do I?
So, I mean, the normal board that Melodious can make, this is pretty scary, you know? So I decide to destroy the Appaloosa, which this is why I love board breakers. Everyone has transitioned from, since Barone got hit, to SP, IP, SP, and Appaloosa. Appaloosa with like 2 to 3 negates, monster negates is so good, and that's why I really like board breakers. Now, Snake Eyes. I keep doing that. Snake Eyes. It's like you hope to draw like Raigeki and Harpies, obviously, but yeah, just having board breakers is really, really strong now. But I still to this day don't like evenly. So, I try to continue to play. I met with an effect veiler, and we just hear time is called, and there's nothing either of us could do. I think I could have maybe done enough onto at least potentially clear his board, but time being what it is, you know. So this round, this whole match, I should say, does end up with us being in a tie. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these recordings, this was probably the most frustrating Tuesday we've had. There was so many ties, and you'll see in the other games as well. Can't pay life because I'll lose. There's the clock. Now, do anything to burn you.
I'm already burned.
If I entered battle, it wouldn't matter. This space line. And so you actually see here, I'm like reading all the Goblin cards. I'm like, do one of these like do any burn or anything? Nope, they don't. So I'm like, oh man, well, okay, nothing that can be done. Double checking everything to make sure like nothing just coincidentally, oh, by the way, inflict 500 to your opponent. So yep, this one ends up being a tie. But thank you guys for watching. I will upload game 2. I believe it's me versus Caleb next. But thank you guys for watching. Again, leave a comment if we did something wrong or could have done something better. It always helps us out. Leave a like as well. Try to upload more games on Sundays. That's more of our competitive scene. But thank you guys so much.